one red eye. A Monday, September 29th, 2025, 5:16 p.m. and welcome to the Please Subscribe show. There's one of our stars right there, Critter. He is from the mirror species. He's a mirror critter species. He likes to hang on mirrors. It says Critter right there. He likes to live, laugh, and smell good. If you're gonna live, you might as well live, laugh, and smell good, if you can. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show last night, following up on disc 3 of Twilight Override. I just watched a little bit of Wilco and K.E. It's hard to say for some reason. K.E.X.P. Gotta have to slow down after the K. K.E.X.P. out in Seattle a year ago, and from an album called Cousin. And, I just want to, just kind of a side note, I'm not going to do every single show about Wilco, but it's nice to cover a band, just, like, to talk about them, and to post it on an online site, even if it gets 2 or 3 views, I'm okay. If it gets 2 or 3 or 2 or 3 million, either or, I just know it's out there floating. Hey, maybe 10 years from now, it does get 2 million, who knows? But I thought the third disc coverage, you could call it a review, or you could call it just on Jeff Tweedy's Twilight Override. You could call it just me talking about it. I thought it went better, and so what it did was it showed me progression, and then I started thinking about, today about freedom and freedom of speech and what it means to you in this country, and what a great thing, and how happy it can make a person, to have a voice and to be able to talk about really anything. It could be a flower or a band out in Chicago or anything. So I listened to some music today rather than play one of my songs. I don't know if I'm going to work on the song Making Fun, but I can maybe talk about why I try to write it, or why I'm maybe still working on it. There's a butterfly right there. I think it has to do with, if you feel like someone's making fun of you, I don't really know if there's concrete proof of telepathy. Now, they talk about it, but if you hear them making fun of you, right there in front of you, just know that you're the only one that can make fun of you, I don't know if that makes sense. I think that's what the song is trying to say, that if I ever get to write it, or if I continue on. And it's mostly just chords. Go, scroll, go, make it. Okay, scroll made it. Meaning, it doesn't really matter what other people think of you, You're the one that would be making fun of you, So don't do it. Don't let them get you down. And if you hear a memory of their voice or something like that, just know that there's no concrete proof of telepathy. There's no scientific proof, but they have studied it. So it's kind of questioning that theory, Can they make fun of you from afar, even though they're not around? Probably not. Regardless, it's just a song that I was thinking about, just an experiment, And then I went back and saw some of my other vlogs that were kind of downers, Citizen on Patrol, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, I could probably take those off, eventually maybe, because they're kind of downers, and I probably will. That's something that just happened. It's in the past. And I think I did a song called Citizen on Patrol, And then I was, you know, writing a novel, which I wrote a little bit on it, not a whole lot, but a little bit on it. And these are just things, you know, that you got these people out there, they really like to watercolor, you know, and then they're like, wow, that's a crazy watercolor. And they're like, well, that's what I wanted to put down in the watercolor thing, you know, that's what I wanted to say, or that's, you know, something that went down, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, but there's artists out there that have to do things a certain way, and they all have different styles and stuff. And oh yeah, another thing too is I watched a thing on guitars about Jeff Tweedy. There's a lady named Elizabeth Cotton. She played her guitar upside down, and I think she was playing it like the chords with her right hand, so she was picking with her left, and the guitar was upside down. Never seen anything like it. It's beautiful. I watched that for a little bit last night. All right. Well, this is the part where you get to watch me pick up food at restaurants and drop it off at your doorstep. And hope you enjoy. Please subscribe. And also what helps is give it a chance. Watch it. I know there's some logistic stuff that can help you if you do this type of work. And I'm just doing that right now. And I hope you enjoy. Here we go. I got one at Zalot Pizza, 5:33 arrival, 5 minutes, 1.1 mile for the... Well, I found another band on KEXP called Nation of Language. This one's called Inept Apollo. Been listening to them. They kind of have like a synth pop sound. They use a lot of synthesizers. They're pretty good. I'm just getting into them right now, so it's not as folky or alternative rock as Wilco, but it is synth pop, which is, you know, in the alternative, like bands like Erasure and New Order and things like that. But they're very, very synth. Lots of synthesizers and processing computer music, things like that. It's kind of a pick-me-up. Cool about this mural, though, it's Jimmy Joe Jenkins, so it's the same Jimmy Joe Jenkins right over by Velvet Taco. Or the other one. We did this one the same time, 2017, but in July, on July 4th. It's pretty cool looking. It looks like a Philip Seymour Hoffman with a crow in his head. All right, Zalot Pizza on its way, 5:50 arrival, 11 minutes, 2.9 miles for the delivery. All right, I forgot to say it's 85 degrees according to WeatherBug, and I reset my accumulated info. Here we go. Yep, you're welcome. Okay. Alrighty, got one at Jason's Deli, on our way, 5:58 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.5 miles for the pickup. All right, Jason's Deli on its way, 6:11 arrival, 8 minutes, 2.8 miles for the delivery. Looks like they're doing some new construction right here past Henderson. All right, got one at Mellow Mushroom, on our way, 6:29 arrival, 13 minutes, 5.5 miles for the pickup. I threw on Wilco's 13th studio album. I thought it was 12, it's actually 13. They have one called Cousin, which is Wilco. Let's see if it shows it right here. That's probably the album cover. I've only listened to one song, and I found out about it from KEXP out of Seattle from the live show about a year ago. 2023 album, the 13th studio one. The last one so far until the next one comes out. Switched over to Wilco's Ode to Joy album, which is a 2019. I'm just listening to the first songs of some of their studio albums. So if the other one was 13, well, this might be their 11th album. Pretty sure that's right. Their 11th studio, 2009. Yeah, I fact checked it. It is the 11th studio album of Wilco, which came out in 2019. Ode to Joy, Wilco. Oh baby, baby, Portwood Zoo. There's the iguana. All right, TCU campus started in 1873, about 52 years ago. I think it started in a different area, then eventually moved right here on University. There's the plaque. It says 1873 on it. That's how I found out about it. You know, the year when it was founded. Pretty sure they'd get it right if they put it on the plaque. Alright, there's one of their ovens they use. It was actually just a fireplace. right, Mellow Mushroom on its way. 6:43 arrival, 3 minutes, 1 mile for the delivery. All right, got another one at Mellow Mushroom. 6:51 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.9 miles for the... All right, Mellow Mushroom on its way. 7:09 arrival, 12 minutes, 6.4 miles for the delivery. Listening to Schmilko, Normal American Kids. It's one of the earlier albums. Came out in 2016. Schmilko, Wilco. All right, next one is Mexican Inn Cafe on our way. 7:18 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.8 miles for the pickup. All right, got one at Sichuan. 7:24 arrival, 1 minute and 200 feet. That's the one Jane Goodall showed up at. She studied primates. We'll be there in 1 minute. Well, probably less than that. Let's see, 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Look, Dream. What's that say? Dream on, Dreamer? Can't really read it. Okay, we're there. All right, I'll show you the photo of Jane Goodall. She came here when she was studying primates at the Fort Worth Zoo, and she decided to eat here, and they got a photo of her. I'll show it to you. It's right here. Oh, hi. That's her. Thanks so much, appreciate it. Oh, I recognize her face. That's probably one of the owners of the restaurant. I don't know who that is. It's Jane Goodall. All right, on our way with the Mexican Inn. 7:35 arrival, 3 minutes, 1.2 miles for the delivery. Right, Camp Bowie just opened La La Land drive-thru. It looks like they might have ice cream in there. Looks like they could have. That's where you enter. I don't know if it's a drive-thru or not. Yeah, they do have a drive-thru. Get yourself some ice cream, La La Land style. All right, on our way with the Szechuan. 7:49 arrival, 7 minutes, 3.1 miles for the delivery. All right, we've got another drop. And Tower B, which I think is the emergency room for podiatry, pretty sure. So I've dropped there before. Yeah, I think we could go through here. Let's see, I think this one's on Tower A and Tower B. I think this goes between it. Oh yeah, this is where I was born. This is All Saints. Baylor Scott, All Saints. Probably somewhere in this area. All right, this is building A. So A and B are over here, actually. I was told wrong. All right, we got it. All right, got one at Jason's Deli. On our way, 8:11 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.7 mile for the pickup. All right, Jason's Deli on its way, 8:27 arrival, 8 minutes, 2.4 miles for the delivery. So that's the only way you can leave the order, according to the person that I talked to, that front door right here. I was able to talk to the person. This is really the only way to drop off the order. It's right there. That is the only entrance, which is sealed off right now. So there is the JFK statue when JFK came to Fort Worth on 11/21 of 1963 and gave a random speech to people of Fort Worth. Well, may I say it was unexpected rather than random, but they said it was just right out of the blue. He wasn't scheduled to give a speech. That's the Hilton that he stayed at. All right, got one at Chipotle. 8:50 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.7 miles for the pickup. I don't know if they put the drink in the bag, but I'm gonna go back and check. It did say drink on the actual app, so I'm gonna go check. All right, I checked it. They actually bottle them here, so they should put them in the bag at the Chipotle. All right, yeah, it was an Izzy drink, and they do put it in the bag, but I checked it anyway, and you could feel the drink actually inside the paper bag. All right. All right, this Chipotle is on its way. 9:02 arrival, 5 minutes, 2.3 miles for the delivery. there's a butterfly at night. All right, Free Admission Friday on the Modern. Keble Art Museum's doing Myth and Marble September and January. And Casa Manana this November is doing the West Side Story. Story about Tony Maria, cross-eyed lovers. And they're doing Junie B. Jones, the musical, in October right now. Well, coming up. Not right now, but about to do it. Looks like a children's musical. Casa Manana. Wilco Schmilko. I think If I Ever Was a Child is the best song on that album. All right, got one at Potbelly's. On our way for the pickup. 9:22 arrival, 2 minutes, 1.2 mile. Cole's Potbelly's stove. Maybe one of the original campuses, TCU. Probably TCU from the 1950s, right there. The Hornet Frog. It's probably one of the early campus photos from Ariel. All right, this Potbelly's on its way. 9:35 arrival, 6 minutes, 2 miles for the delivery. Film the trains because my father and my grandfather both worked for the railroad. My grandfather was a switcher. Got one at Whataburger, 9:48 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.7 miles for the pickup. Family owned since 1950. And it's Harmon Dobson was a creator of Whataburger's dream was to create a hamburger that could fit in both your hands. And this is what it looks like from the side view. There he is, Herman Dobson. Right there. There's a photo of him and a worker. And there's one of the original Whataburgers. And actually this one's one of the first ones in Corpus Christi in 1950. That's Harmon Dobson and his son. They're in front of one of the Whataburgers, 1960 Florida. Free pizza. All right, this Whataburger is on its way. 10:05 arrival, 7 minutes, 3 miles for the delivery. All right, looks like we got one at Little Caesars on our way. 10:14 arrival, 4 minutes, 2.5 miles for the pick. Right, this Little Caesars on its way. 10:39 arrival, 17 minutes, 10 miles for the delivery. Yeah, listening to The Whole Love, Wilco's Black Moon. It's probably one of their best songs. Tim Burton, still in business. Ooh, his eyes. Oh, and he blinks. Oh, he does blink. That's neat. Cool. Be a bunch of that coming up, especially in October. So we're gonna turn that $2.99 into $2.89 by simply putting in our 7-Eleven's rewards points. We're gonna first put in the alternate ID. Right, got the roll back. $2.89. Wary of some of those gas stations way out there in Lake Worth, because I've gone through all these other different gas stations, and it's $2.49 right here. It's $2.44 to that other QT. It's about 40 cents cheaper. Yeah, down the way it's $2.44 at the other QT. Right, got one at Wingstop, 11:24 arrival, 3 minutes, 1.3 miles for the pickup. Right, the swing stop's going to the Omni, 11:43, 6 minutes, 1.9 miles for the delivery. Ooh, Myth and Marble, Kimball Art Museum. It's a good one. Really cool. This is Bob's Steak and Chop House, established in 1993 when I graduated high school. Oops, someone only tipped 75 cents. Going to Taco Bell for the pickup. 11:55 arrival, 3 minutes, 1.1 mile. In 1931, Wyatt Hedrick constructed the United States Postal Service for Fort Worth. He was originally from Virginia. He used an artwork called Beaux Art, which is a combination of Renaissance, French neoclassicism, and Baroque. There it is, right there. Went into business in 1933.
Are you ready?
Looks like it's right. Taco Bell on its way. 12:06 a.m., 3 minutes, 0.7 miles for the... All right. I believe this one's going to the Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn. There you go, popcorn. Looks like Nora Jones. The daughter of Ivan Shankar. Shankar was the sitar player for the Beatles. Nora Jones was the daughter of Ravi Shankar. Ravi. R-A-V-I, Shankar. He was our sitar player. We got an Insomnia Cookies, West Magnolia area, 12:17 arrival, 3 minutes, 1.2 miles for the pickup. Insomnia cookies. Stay up all night eating warm cookies. Don't forget the milk. Insomnia cookies. Actual cookie size. They've got ice cream. She asked me if I wanted a cookie. I thought maybe they were throwing out cookies. I was like, sure. Because, you know, they got deluxe cookies in there. She's like, well, we close at 1. And then I realized she wanted me to buy a cookie. I was like, I'm on a diet. And I'm budgeting. All right, this Insomnia cookie is going to you. 12:40 arrival, 16 minutes, 8.6 miles for the delivery. I thought she was gonna give me a deluxe cookie. I was like, man, I might eat that cookie. But then I realized I did it all for the nookie. No, I didn't tell her that. So you can take that cookie and you can, never mind. You know how the song goes. But I did it all for the cookie. I don't know. No, she was trying to get me to buy some cookies. I thought, well, no. But if they're throwing out cookies, I don't know if they throw out cookies. They might not. Looks like that's a little memorial, probably to the civil rights movement. It's a bus. It looks like they have some memorial stuff on the inside of it. Warm cookies coming to your porch. Major construction. I think that's probably going to be open, hopefully. Oh, it reminds me of like The Thing, John Carpenter's Thing with all the lights. I don't know why. I always think of that. Every time I see those work lights, because I think they had these bright lights in that movie at times. Or Alien. Yeah, Alien has the very bright lights the highway people kind of use. Applegate. All right, that's my last one for tonight. Insomnia cookies. We're gonna head back and feed Kitty. Lost dog towards K Drive. Maybe jump the fence, maybe just roaming around. I'll try to report them when they can. It's about 12:50. Go to radio and get the date. Tuesday, September 30th. So there's K Drive right there. We're on Vista. What's this called? We're on Vesta Farley. So I don't know if that helps. Okay. Starting to see there's a bunch of construction around here. All right. Finally got on a passage road that hopefully will lead to the highway. We'll find out. This would go back towards Martin Luther. All right. I think that's what it is right there. Or this road right here. Which is 287. Right, roughly what we did today and tonight, about 89 miles. I remember resetting it. St. Paul Lutheran's Church. The billboard says, "My presence will go with you," Exodus 33:14. Amen. So there's a band out there called Nation of Language. I found out about them on KEXP. They're from Brooklyn. They're synth pop and post punk. They're on Sub Pop Records. They played for Cheryl Waters at the KEXP, I think not very long ago. They're like a hard-working synth pop band. I have a feeling that they're going to probably get a #1 hit. I don't know if they're trying to do that, but it might happen eventually, you know, where they'll really spread out iconic. But they have a Wikipedia page. I'm kind of listening to them, and I dig them. Some of it's relaxing, and then some could probably be played at synth pop festivals or whatever, you know. But it seems like they've come up with like 3 or maybe like 4 or 5 albums. The one that was played was called at the KEXP was called, part of it was a dance called Memory, and I'm checking them out. They sound pretty good. Their first studio album came out in 2020, and now they're still rocking it in 2025. It's called Dance Called Memory. The first album was called Introduction, Presence, and that was from Nation of Language. Interesting title. When I put it up in Google, it pulls them up immediately, so they're pretty smart for having a unique title. Is that Mr. Kitty? Yes, you are. All right. Just a minute. All right, here we go with today's kitty. All right. Let's see here. Today's kitty will be having fancy feast, seafood feast, and gravy grilled. Yeah, isn't that good, kitty? Now remember, we have outdoor kitties that have to share, so you're only going to eat half of it. So you'll have 100% of half of it right here. Then I'm going to feed your friends inside. That's what makes you a good kitty. Wonder what tomorrow's kitty will be. Okay. I'm gonna wedge this over here, kitty. That way it doesn't fall into the ground, okay? Excuse me. There we go, kitty. Now I feed the stray cats. A little bit for Amy, because Amy deserves to eat, and a little bit for Tabby, because Tabitha deserves to eat. Even though we don't know whose cats they are, they deserve to eat anyway, because God loves them. A little bit of cat food on it. All right. Here we go. See the out. All right. Tabitha first. Here we go, Tabitha. Wedge it right there. And what will I be having? Well, I'm going to slice up some carrots. I believe this is a cucumber, a little bit of onion, lots of spinach, coleslaw, you guessed it, ramen noodle, and of course I'm going to add some corn, and for protein, tuna fish, which is about 120 calories per can. Kitty knows he'll get some of this too. And then we're gonna boil it up in this puppy right here. And we're gonna go with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4.5. Actually, I think last time it was a little not dry, but I need a little more water. I kind of like it, kind of like a soup. Turn this on. I'm gonna add the spinach last. We can go ahead and throw in some coleslaw in there. Just sprinkle some in there. A little bit of more. And we have our cucumbers. Voila. We have our carrots, yummy carrots, which have beta carotene, and then we have this right here, which is our sweet onion, or it's really green onion, but I just call it sweet onion. It's sweet. And later on, we're gonna add these raisins and the spinach. We're gonna also add this corn right here. Not all of it though. Corn's a great filler. Then, last we'll add the ramen and the tuna. Sound good? Sounds like a plan. All right, I'm gonna add some corn. About a little over half a can. A little more coleslaw. And all sorts of oil. gonna set this for 3 minutes, which is important. We go 3 minutes with it. Drop that in there. And it's gonna cook for about 3 minutes. Here we go. Right. Gonna go ahead and use this can opener right here. And it's on this cutting board. There we go. Now we're ready to roll. Just get that going on there, just like that. I got a little trick that you guys can do if you're at like a cocktail party or something. Ooh, that means I gotta put it on low. So we're at 3 minutes right here. And we're just gonna put that on low right there. About a minute. So, after this shot, so about a minute. Here we go. So if at a cocktail party, you can walk up to the prettiest lady and say, "Hey, how you doing? Have you ever had any tuna? A tuna cocktail? Pretty good. Lots of vitamins in that." No, I'm just joking. Don't do that, you get slapped. All right, come here, kitty. Here we go. We're gonna put some of this for Kitty. Kitty gets a few bites. There we go, Kitty. There we go. All right. As you can see, the spinach and raisins are over here. I'm gonna go ahead and add the chicken right here. And we're gonna stir that in. It's chicken seasoning. Or no, I'm sorry, this is the chili seasoning, sorry. It's a chili one, chili. Then we're gonna add the spinach. Just like this. And just kind of push that in there like that. It's more kind of like a soup. Let's see something real quick. I'm gonna add a little bit of this beef flavoring. Just give it a little punch of flavor. On top of it. That's beef and chili. That should be pretty good. We turn this on. That looks about good. I might drain some of that. All right, kitty. Oh, and then the raisins. We'll add the raisins in a minute. Add a little bit of lime in my tea. And pretty good. The only way I can show this is if I lift it up and then show it, because it's more of kind of a soup. So we're gonna try it. Yeah, the broth is actually pretty good. I saw this one documentary. these people that were eating soup, like it was just showing the restaurant. There's one guy was eating soup, he went like this. I just remember it stuck in my brain. So I started mimicking it. So he went like this. I was like, that is very interesting. So he went like he was slurping around and tasting the soup. Anyway, I'm also going to be adding this Chick-fil-A sauce packet with the sweet and sour. And just a hint of this, I believe it's called Kikkoman soy sauce. Try a little bit of that. There's some of the soy sauce in there. And then some of the sweet and sour too. And I'll save the Chick-fil-A sauce for whenever there's less water and stuff like that, so it makes the noodles better. Let's give the noodle a try, shall we? Oh, then we'll be putting this on to watch. Let's see what's on. Oh, it's me. That's just basically, it goes through my little thing, my preferences and stuff. And I don't know, the news sometimes is depressing at times. I'm probably going to listen to something while I eat. Let's see. I'll probably listen to some Wilco maybe. Okay. Let's dig in. It's got some tuna in there. Why don't we just show? We got tuna, spinach is cooked in there, corn, carrots. We got some raisins, green onions, and some of the this cabbage coleslaw. Okay, let's give her a try here. Got some of that spinach in there. I'll have to rehook this up. Hang on. Well, you'll have to be back just a second. I'm going to see if I can hook this up. It's really good. You can taste the tuna in there, the spinach. You really get some of that corn. Oh, sweet and sour. Tastes really good. I'm going to add some of this a little bit later. Oh, tea, and I put some lemon in there and some lime.